Welcome back to the channel. My name is Garrett. For those who are new, thanks for joining us, and those who are coming back again, welcome back. Today we're doing some river fishing, which is kind of unique. Most of my stuff is still water and salt water that's been put on the channel, but I do river stuff here, and I do a lot of fishing in Oregon in general. So in this video we're going to be on the North Santiam. The North Santiam is part of the Columbia River drainage basin, but the main river that the Santiam systems drain into is the Willamette. This system is found on Highway 20 just east of Salem, and it's a great fishery. I'm fishing above Detroit Reservoir, which is the main reservoir that supplies drinking water to Salem. And on this section, it's all freestone. It's a freestone section, so the only water that I'm fishing is coming out of either springs, natural lakes, or in this case, glacier runoff. You'll notice in the video that the water is kind of like a milky blue color, and that's because of the glacier runoff. There's a lot of silt that glaciers generate. They grind up the rocks in the soil, and then that gets taken downhill into the system. So because it's glacier, it has that milky blue color, but it also has, it's also freezing. It's very, very cold. Air temps are probably in the mid to high 80s, which is pretty common this time of year, July-ish time. And water temps had to be low 40s, high 30s, it felt like. I mean, it didn't take any temperature readings, but it was cold. Very, very, very cold. And so I only was able to stand it for a little bit of time, probably like an hour and a half, because the water was just so cold. Didn't bring waders. I was on the way home from Central Oregon, and I decided to stop and fish on the way back home. But we Euro nymphed it today. That's what I used. I used the Echo Shadow X. That is my preferred Euro nymphing rod. It's awesome. It's worth its weight in gold. It punches well above its weight class. It sits right around $500 retail, and it is awesome. I have a 10.5 foot three-way. I pair it with the Speedster, Lamson Speedster. I have one in blue, and then I have a braided core Euro nymphing line. Doesn't matter which brand. I believe mine's Airflow, but it could have been Rio. I don't really know off the top of my head. But all the braided core Euro nymphing lines tend to be very similar. So whichever one you like, whatever brand you care for, go with that one. But we'll get right into the video. Stay tuned to the end. I'll talk about flies, some techniques, some things to keep in mind, and anything else that I think might be interesting for you. So we'll see you in there. All right, wasn't that great? Caught a couple fish out there. So just a couple rainbows. I think they were stockers that they stocked in the lake earlier in the year, and during the year of 2024, they stocked Detroit Reservoir, which is the reservoir that this part of the river flows into. I think they stocked it with like 400,000 fish, or the equivalency of 400,000 fish. It was outrageous. I think because the reservoir had been low for many, many years, they're trying to revive it with a lot more fish and bring in more commerce and bring in more people fishing and just being active around the lake. It's a good lake to fish. It's a good lake to fly fish, especially when it's the off season. But we'll get into that. We're not doing that right now. But so river fishing, the two fish came on two different flies. They're both purple as their main color palette for the flies. So the first fish came on a fly called the Highway Star, which is a pattern that I developed. It's essentially like a red dart or a blowtorch, but in purple and copper kind of colors. I believe I have some pictures up on my website about it, but otherwise, if you have questions or want the recipe, shoot me an email, leave a comment down below. I'll get in touch with you. The other fly was a Pat's rubber leg, super common still water river fly. And Pat's rubber legs, I tied it kind of like how Lance Egan ties his. So very, very similar, about the same size 10. The Highway Star, I believe, is a size 14. So nothing really small, but big. They wanted it down, deep down to the bottom. And as you can see, luckily, at least in one of the shots, you can definitely see the fish take. You can see the line just straighten out, set the hook on it, and off we go. So remember, if you're seeing the takes, you're doing really, really well. If you're feeling them, you're probably missing a lot. So just be sure that you're watching that sighter. And if you need to see what it looks like, you can watch this video again and again and kind of watch that clip, and you'll see it happen. So we'll do some more river fishing videos coming up here. So if you like the video, like it. It's great. Hit subscribe and stay tuned for the next one. Thanks.